Okay, guys. So this interview is a very special thing for me. And the reason why is because um, I have spent a number of years in the past job hopping and also going through all kinds of industries. I remember my first industry was actually in car sales. And then after that, I job hop for about, I think, 9 different jobs before I finally um, started being very serious in one industry, which is fitness, which kind of led me to being my path on the coach. And way after after my first job, right? I remember there was one point I already started thinking about how can I make more money. How can I really ensure my future? And it was at that point in time where I was introduced to this. It was introduced to MLM. It wasn't a very long stint. I did MLM for about 3 years, and then I decided that that's no longer something that I want to do. Today, I'm a business coach, but I also noticed throughout the years a lot of my friends, a lot of people who are within my circles of influence actually started in MLM, and not just in MLM. It's actually a lot of industries that require prospecting. All right, prospecting meaning that you got to actually get people, convert strangers into your circles of influence. And I realized many people, like 90% of the people that are actually more than that, probably like 99% of the people that I know who enters into any form of industry that requires prospecting, like MLM, insurance, I do not know, like any form of industry like that, finance, financial advisory business, they tend to quit very, very fast. So in the past, the word prospecting actually came from the California gold rush times, right? Where they have to think about gold prospecting, like how can you dig and dig and dig and dig, and then you find a gold. So eventually, somehow, the word prospecting made its way into marketing. So now we have all kinds of industry using prospecting, but most people are doing it wrong. They really, really are doing it wrong. I've done it wrong myself, and I have seen people doing it wrong, and they continue to do it wrong. And you know what's the shitty part about it is that when you do prospecting wrong, you are not only having a bad time because you have to, the people, Malaysian would say muka tembok. You have to, muka tembok and Hokkien say bin pui kao, right? You have to put on a thick face, and then you force yourself to go and say the words and go and do all kinds of tactics and tricks to get people to pay attention. So it's a very shitty feeling. And not only that, right? Even though you're having a very hard time, like a very bad experience doing so, the other person who is on the receiving end of it also have all kinds of bad experience with you. And when you do it this way, over time, the people start to avoid you, right? And so at the beginning of this post that I posted the other day that got you guys here, some of the things includes posting your webinar links and your event links every Facebook and WhatsApp group, right? You just put it over there and posting it everywhere. Keeping a list of Facebook groups that you go into, and every time you have a promotion, just post it there, right? And some marketers would actually do something like this as well. They would actually go and they call themselves marketer, but I don't think they really know what they're doing. Every time they have a email list, every time the reader opens the email, it's another promotion. It's another promotion and another promotion. And by the time after a while, after a few months of receiving emails like that, you know already lah. The moment this person calls you, the moment this person texts you, the moment this person sends an email to you, for sure they have something to promote you. They have something to sell you. And of course, there's also another side of it, which is I think even worse than posting everywhere, is plugging your link into other people's posts. It's like I have this link, I have this website. If you want to. So copy the link every time a friend posts talks something remotely similar about what you're doing. Just go in there and plug your link in. Just say, hey, I have this product that I'm selling. If you're interested, contact me. That is also a pretty bad experience. The person who posts that post wouldn't appreciate it. Neither would everyone else appreciate it. And then I also had instances in let's say BNI, like we have so many people contacting me, saying, hey, Felix, I would like to collaborate with you. And I'll be like, okay, sure, collaborate. What's up? So I get into a call with them, and they start to say things like, everybody needs to have supplements, right? And that this brand that I'm doing is the best in the world, right? So they can say it in many different fancy words, in many nice ways that they can say it, but at the end of the day, is the essence of it is still the same. It's still trying to prospect in that kind of way. They try to prospect everybody. So over time, I get very turned off by that, and because not only because I had a bad experience, but also it reminds me of all the mistakes that I've made. And I'm sure many of you who are watching this, you have experienced many such instances to one degree or another. So with that understanding, I started to look for people who can help us cast some light into this. I have my own way, but at the same time, I wanted to hear it from someone who is been there, done that, and still doing in a nice way, So not like forcing people to listen to him, but doing it in a nice way that actually builds relationship, that actually leaves people with a nice taste by the end of the conversation. So the past few months I've been looking for someone like that, and then eventually came across one of this person who is on my friends list, and I saw him, and we have been friends for quite a while, but I never noticed that this is what he's been doing. He's actually a network marketing coach. I never realized that until recently. I saw that, and apparently he's a network marketing coach who has been having quite a number of success with his clients. So I reached out to him and I said, hey, would you like to come over on my Facebook? We can do a Facebook Live, and I think that a lot of people might benefit from this. And certainly, I am personally, I want to contribute to the solution. So many people are doing this right now, and it's just making the internet a very unsafe place to be at. So I'm hoping that by doing this interview with Keanu, let me rephrase his name, Keanu. I'm hoping that by doing this interview with Keanu, more people would wake up, and stop trying to be everywhere, stop trying to be everyone, stop trying to get everyone to buy from them. So if you are in the MLM business, if you are in the insurance business or financial advisory business, or any other business that requires you to actually make friends, build relationships, and get people to get strangers to buy from you, I hope that this Facebook Live will cast some light on how to do it properly. Okay, so with that being said, I don't want to delay anymore. I'm going to invite Keanu. Keanu, can you come online, please?
Hello.
Hey, Keanu, thanks for being here. Awesome afternoon. So I have a small group of people on Facebook who is watching us, but at the same time, I have a number of people who are on this Zoom room with us watching us. So who knows? Maybe later more people will come, but we will start right now. So Keanu, can I ask you this question? Like, actually, for the people who haven't yet known about you, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Hi everyone. Thanks for having me on this show, Felix. It's been a wonderful time, preparing this with you. My name is Keanu. That's how you pronounce my name. I have nothing to do with Keanu Reeves. Okay, so I'm not in any way related at all. All right, because he can fly, I can't, and his movie is coming up again, in December. And another fact is that I didn't get my name because I like him. I didn't know about him when I had my name. So yes, that's my name. I started off in the marketplace as an auditor because I graduated from ACCA. For some of you who don't know what ACCA is, it's actually the Association of Certified Chartered Accountants. So yes, I was major in accountancy. I came out from college. My first job was an auditor, and I would say I got painted the wrong picture by all my lecturers, because back in the college days, the lecturers would tell us that, hey, if you guys graduate and you become auditor, you will have the highest authority, because everywhere you go, people will be scared of you because you are going there to check on their accounts, so they will be they'll be like really trying to please you and all. So so we were all being painted that kind of picture, but it was never the same. It was never that. So we came out to work, most of the time you'll find us sitting in the storeroom all by ourselves, digging through all their past records, because nobody cared to dig out past records to help you, check their accounts, because to them you are wasting their time. So we spend Christmas Eve doing stock takes. We spend New Year's Eve doing stock take. I don't see the sun anymore because I have to go to work before the sun comes up, and I can only go back home when the sun goes down. Sometimes some of my colleagues were actually they took sleeping bags and they overnight in the office, and they were actually proud of that. It's like an achievement. They say, hey, I overnight in the office. I was like, come on, man, that's not life.
It's like one of those expectation meets reality.
Yes. I mean, everybody has their preference on their, for their lifestyle. Maybe they prefer that kind, but it's just not my cup of tea. So in fact, it was the classic book by Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad Poor Dad. I'm sure most of you would have heard of that. That book changed my mind, because when I read that book, I was like, hey, I really don't see myself being an employee for the rest of my lives, because looking at it, it was the most unsecured quadrant, because when you lose your job, you get everything can just come to a stop. My income, the lifestyle, and everything that we are built. So that it will come a point in time in my career, if I were to be an employee for the rest of my life, it will have to come to a point where I have to start my own business on the side. So that time when I read that book, I was like 22, 23, I forgot, around that age. Then I say, if I will have to,
are you referring to this one, the cash flow quadrant?
Yes, the cash flow quadrant.
Right.
So then I was asking myself, if at any point in time I will have to start my own business, why not now? While I still don't have financial commitment, I still have a job, my first job, so I can do something on the side. Instead of waiting until I have life commitments, with kids and family and installments to pay and everything. So that got me thinking. So I was doing some internet marketing, some insurance, some MLM on the side while I was still an auditor. But then it was only when I was 25 that I really took the plunge. I seriously considering my career path. I quit accountancy. I left the whole auditing and accountancy, and I went straight to sales and marketing. And I remember my first job outside of accountancy was with Standard Chartered, and I was selling the Mortgage One home loan. Back then, Standard Chartered was the first bank that came up with a flexi mortgage plan. Okay, now it's almost everywhere. So of course, the manager interviewed me and said, this product basically sells by itself. Sounds very familiar, right? So, all you need to do is just to share. I said, hey, that one sounds like my MLM outline. So I said, okay, sounds simple enough to share. So, went through training. First month, I was just a trainee, no sales quota and all. Second month into employment, they gave me a sales quota because I finished my training. So they gave me a 1 million ringgit quota, so in that month, I would have to close 1 million ringgit worth of the mortgage loan amount, total amount. So I work hard. I work on weekends. I work at night. I, call my friends, and those who are a bit older than me, they starting the family and they need a home loan and all. Went all over the place, meeting people. And I closed, by the end of the month, I closed 1.3 million. So it's like 300,000 more than a quarter. And friends were telling me, say, oh, even if it is 1%, your commission would be like really handsome. So I was like really looking forward to that. And the commission statement came, it was 800 ringgit. 800 ringgit.
No, so even though you closed so much money, it was like
800 ringgit, yes. And
really disappointing.
800 ringgit split into two payments. 400 you receive it
Wow.
the next month, the other 400 until the loan is disbursed. So I
Wow.
was like, okay, as an accountant, I start to measure ROI. It was really not what I was expecting. I mean, the ROI, I'm talking about investment of my time, my effort, and my energy.
Yeah.
Because I understand everybody
So,
has limited
so is
TEA.
that so is that
Yeah.
how you thought about starting a different kind of industry?
Yes. So I left sales and marketing. I left that bank, and I went full time in insurance and MLM. So I was doing both at the same time. Met with a lot of challenges, a lot of rejections, and all. But it was only when I was 25 that I really settled down and chose one over the other. So I chose MLM over insurance because I really like the environment and the dynamic of equal opportunity. Um, but then, like all MLM, when you join, you listen to your upline. And my upline actually came from the very olden ways of doing MLM, which was like home party and call all your friends. And I remember my upline taught me this thing called the 6 feet rule. Have you heard of that?
No, tell us.
Yes, it's a 6 feet rule. Any human being within 6 feet of your radius, go and prospect them. I was like, what? That's the fastest way for you to bury yourself 6 feet underground. So we always have this clash, I mean, his ideology, his philosophy, we always have this clash. In fact, we have a huge age gap anyway. So that time, let me see, that time I was 2005, I think.
Wait. Let's talk about that for a while. Like, what was the rationale? What was the rationale behind what he recommend of like everyone within 6 feet of you go and prospect?
Yes, that's a really good question. Well, the rationale and the intention was good, okay, because some people really made it that way, okay. Like I said, there's no good or bad approach, but which one suits you? So, a lot of people who jump into MLM industry, in the olden days, I was talking about in the 70s and 80s and even the 90s, a big chunk of that came from the dropouts. All right, they didn't finish school. They really couldn't compete in the corporate world because they didn't have the qualification. So one of the avenue that they can really
Makes sense.
exchange, their sweat equity with passive income, it was either insurance or MLM back then. So most chose MLM because it was easy to start and they were just selling. So they were all driven by hunger, motivated by desperation, and they had this, like what you say, la muka tembok. They go all out and talk to people. Rejection, no problem. Next. So the mantra is always, some will, someone. So what next? Okay. So they keep going on, and because of their persistency, they hit it. Because in MLM, you don't have to always have, you don't always need new customers every day. So you have a pool of customers, you train them to be distributors, they have their pool of customers and the overriding. So they made it to the top, and that was how their real life training came about. So when they start teaching the newer ones, the new distributors, so all these were, remember the whispering game, a lot of team building, they do that, right?
Yeah, the Chinese whisper.
Yeah. So it always got diluted. The whole message always get diluted.
Yeah.
So it came to a point when, after few generations of this upline and downline, and probably after few years, we're still using the same advice, but the context was diluted. You see?
Yeah.
So the context of
they teach the teaching, but they didn't teach the context behind the teaching.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
So as time, what you're saying is the times change, but they were still using the old way.
Yes, times change, situation change. The dynamic of the market has changed. The philosophy of consumerism has changed, and people are more educated about what MLM is. Okay, in fact, I would say today, people are less skeptical about MLM, but they are more informed. Okay, so they will say, okay, I know you're in MLM, tell me about it, right? But if it sounds anything like very scammy, like, oh, you don't have to sell, just come in,
get rich quick,
introduce yourself,
too good to be true,
and then you sit back and earn money,
yeah,
they'll be turned off. All right, so you got to tell them how the business works, what's the structure of it. And I think people will appreciate that
Wait,
information more.
before we go over there, I want to ask you a question. So I am very clear why prospecting everyone is not for me. But what was your reasoning? Like, why is prospecting everyone within 6 weeks? Why is that not for you?
Personally, again, I don't speak for all MLMers, but personally, I believe that all transaction has to be relational. But that's just my way of doing things. I'd rather spend time building relationship and understanding the needs of this person so that I can propose the most accurate solution for him. Now, if he share with me his concern and his challenges, and I know my product can help him, probably from hearing his condition, I know he doesn't need my, the high ticket package. Probably just a starter pack can help him solve his problem. I would say, we have this, but I think for you, you just take this. I'm sure it will help you. All right. So, and they will appreciate, because most MLMers back then, they only push the high ticket, the most expensive pack. Why?
Yeah, because they don't care.
Correct. They were driven by that immediate income, and to break rank, and to be celebrated, and to be recognized, and to to show off the mock check and stuff like that. These are some of the hype that make the entire messaging of the MLM culture, the pesong, I call it, the pesong. People are driven by greed and shortcuts. And in fact, that was what turned people off.
In fact, I remember there was a point inside the MLM culture where all the recognition is all about showing off your cars and your house and your lifestyle and your travels and all of that stuff, right?
And a big check.
And a big check, right? It's all that rags to riches story, lah. I start with I finished standard 6 only, and everybody looked down on me, and my mother and my father and my uncle, everyone say I cannot do it, and then so I work very hard, and then now I can do it. So if I can do it, so can you.
Yes, that was the narrative. Again, I totally understand where they're coming from, because really, it's really inspiring. In my company, there was this garbage truck driver who made it to a 5-figure income earner every month. All right, isn't that inspiring? It is, right? So I understand when I share that kind of story, I want to tell them about possibilities. I want to tell them about equal opportunity. I want to set a context to what is being shared. Instead of, he's not educated, he's a garbage truck. If you can do it, so can you. And if you don't achieve it, shame on you. It's like, hey, come on, man. That's not how it works, So, because everybody has different style of working. Everybody has different types of network that you talk to, right? Everybody has different energy.
So basically, over the generations, they use selective. They selectively showcase only the sexy bits, right? That's what I'm saying. And then they don't talk about the other things. And because they keep on showing all the sexy bits, everyone is so impatient for results. So there's that noise at the back of their head. Is like, no, I want to get faster. I want to get to the next level faster. We have the next level faster. So instead of thinking for the customer, they keep on thinking about themselves.
For the most part, yes. Okay, for the most part, yes. And again, just like any other industry, there are always different types of people in the mix. So the dominant ones in the MLM would be fast and high result achiever, get showcased a lot. All right, they get to be invited to almost every company event, and they will share, their rags to riches story, which I totally understand where they're coming from. They want to inspire, but then again, it paints a picture that if we persist, if we hang on, if we get rejection and we stand up and we do again, we will succeed. No doubt, that is one part of the success formula. Okay, but not entirely. Because if you're doing it wrong, even if you persist and keep doing it, you're just going to keep doing it wrong.
Yeah, true.
Right? So skill set is very important. Mindset, no doubt, they train a lot on mindset and leadership. In fact, it is within the MLM environment that I learn a lot about leadership and mindset, because they expose us to a lot, of materials like Tony Robbins CDs. Last time we were listening to CDs, and podcasts and all these resources which I wouldn't have, go and look for it on my own. So I thank the industry, the culture is it. But then again, here is where I want to pinpoint where the flaw is. See, the motivation culture is not wrong. The leadership training, everything is good. The flaw is in the messaging that is being passed down through a series of uplines who are not trained coaches. So merely a big pool of uplines are merely cheerleaders or probably motivators. They're not coaches. They're not trainers. So they can't help you pinpoint what exactly that you have to do or not do based on your style and your pace and your strategies and, your personality, how to get things done effectively. So all they do is just to pass down the motivational message, and it came to a point that you got numb to all these things. And when you're numb here, you can't take in any more input. You are numb here, you quit. And that can happen as fast as 6 months.
How long? Right? How long did it take you in your MLM company before you finally get that breakthrough for yourself and your business?
3 months. I joined the company. Yeah, 3 months. I advanced to the next rank, and that kept me motivated. But not the same case for all my downlines. So my downlines came in, some of them drop out after 2 months, some drop out after 3 months. And on average, they will drop out by the 6 months if they don't see it.
So let's clarify that a little bit for the audience. Yeah, like so, because everybody's version of making it is very different, right? Yes. So in your case, right, what was the point where you say, yeah, I made it? Okay, this is good. This is enough. What was the point?
Setting goal, definitely. That is the most basic. I'm sure you teach all your students the same thing. So when you see that you are hitting your goal, your first milestone, then you want to set your next milestone. So there will come a point where you start to see that the company and the product and the compensation plan is built in a way that supports you to achieve that next milestone and the next milestone and the next milestone. Of course, you also have to have that love for learning, because you will fail a lot of times when you are still learning, because MLM is a new thing to a lot of people. Intellectually, they think they know, but when they get into the action, there are so many things that they didn't know that they didn't know, right? So they're going to learn about balance, they're going to learn about, perseverance, they're going to learn about their way of, I call it the law of least effort. What was their path of least effort to prospecting? For some people, it's the talking nonstop. For some people, it's listening. For some people, it's sharing about the product. For some, their strength is sharing about the business plan. But which category are you? So we were not trained specifically on that. Okay, again, probably because of a big chunk of upline were well-intentioned cheerleaders and motivators, but they were not trained coaches. So, a lot of times you hear the same thing echoing through different uplines, and you still feel lost, and when you're numb, you just drop out.
So for you, right, what was the point where you feel that you are satisfied with your results?
It was when I got onto the stage in my specific company to share, and it was after the sharing, because we have conventions and all, and sometimes they invite speakers to share their journey. I didn't expect that I got chosen to share my journey, because I was just like the first rank. There are like 5-6 ranks ahead. So they chose me, and they actually featured some of the points around me, that I was one of the youngest during that time. Not now, all right? But during that time, I was like 25. I was one of the youngest, and one of the quickest to hit that rank within that age group. So they want to feature me to inspire the younger generations to take a look and say, hey, this is also for your generation, and you don't have to do it our way. So they were actually using me as a showcase to show them that you can do it however you like it, because a lot of people in the company knows that I have this clash with my upline because their method was too outdated, right?
Yeah.
So I was among the first generation in our company that time to embrace internet, because that time I think Facebook just came about and YouTube just came about, and there was no such thing as WhatsApp or Twitter or all. So I was posting on Yahoo groups. I was mingling with people, networking with people on Yahoo group. If you still remember, was Yahoo group. And then we exchanged emails, and then we were using email, but we didn't have Wi-Fi call. So calling long distance was really expensive. So we're doing a lot of emailing and stuff like that. And I managed to sign up someone from New Zealand. I was like, oh,
Wow.
there was a huge
Win.
huge achievement. It's like overseas.
Yeah.
So that point, and when my company featured me as one of the speakers, the speech was very short. It was like three or 4 minutes. Felt like 15 minutes to me, but that was the point where I started to realize that I think I'm creating a movement in my own way. I might not be the top sales, or I'm living in a bungalow or what, but I like that I am creating a movement, opening a channel for people to see possibilities through me. And I think that got me the ultimate motivation to champion this industry. And since then, when I was 25 that time, since then I've been championing the industry and telling people that you don't have to do it the hard selling way. Join me, and I'll share with you how we can do it. Having fun and doing professionally. We might not be the fastest rank breakers, but we build relationship, we build a community.
So most of the time, whenever I hear the story of a MLM of a network marketer, right? Typically they used to like get stuck in a rut for a while before they something shift in their mindset and then they change. So it sounds like for you, even when you first joined MLM, you already had this idea that it should be relational. It shouldn't be transactional. Am I hearing this right?
It happened gradually. Also, it didn't start from day one, because when I joined, I still had to learn what is this all about. How to go about, and I still have to go through the steps and the methods that my upline taught me. Because one of the narration is that just follow what your upline did, because they did it before and they're teaching you. So I learned it. I tried it. I used it, and I lost a lot of friends. And I didn't blame them, because that's how they did it. So I start to like really reflect and review and modify some of my own strategies. And when I found that this relational thing is working, when I found that using the internet is working, so I started to present to them and say, hey, maybe we can do this. And I know they were not good at that, because they were hardcore salespeople. All right. Again, nothing wrong with that. Everybody drives differently.
They like to.
Yeah. And they say they eat salt more than I eat rice. Those things lah.
Yeah. So I remember there was one time I had a conversation with somebody. So I was doing a workshop, and this happened this year actually. So I collaborated with someone to do a workshop, and during the workshop, right, we talk about how to prospect with people, and we talk about how we need to connect with someone first and assess the need before we go on. And then immediately after the event was over, there was one lady, she's in network marketing. She sent me a text, and she said, Felix, I would like to invite you to come for my event over here, just to learn more about what I do.
Oh.
So I replied to her like, is there a need that I have? Do you see a need I have to come and join an event? And she responded, yeah, everybody also needs what I have.
Oh.
So, and then I said,
instant relationship killer.
Yeah, instant relationship killer. So yes. I said to her, I don't think I don't think I need what you have actually. And she never mind lah. Even if you don't feel you need, you can come and listen to what I have to say. So
Like for what?
yeah, yeah. So I said to her, are you requesting me to come and hear so that I can give you feedback? Or are you asking me to come and hear what you have to say so that I can consider to buy what you have?
Mm.
So and then she kept on and by the way, she kept on coming up with things to say that
Mm.
I feel that I cannot say no.
Oh, that's quite wise.
But the thing is I feel it's like how do I put it now?
A trap.
Yeah, a trap. It feels like a trap talking to her. You get what I mean?
Yes.
There is a certain way that people say the people that we like. There are certain conversations we go in that if I feel that I have to say yes, I feel good. But there's a certain conversations where if I feel I have to say yes, I feel bad.
Mm.
You get what I
Mm.
mean, right? And
Mm.
the way she was handling the conversation, right? I feel like I'm obligated to say yes to every one of the questions to say, and
Mm.
and personally, it feels horrible for me, lah. I feel like I don't want to talk to this person anymore. And in the end of the conversation, I literally tell her, um, I feel unsafe talking to you. And if we continue having this conversation, I will get very upset. But
Wow. Okay.
yeah, but at the same time, I feel that probably a lot of people,
About the same.
not like me lah. They
Mm.
wouldn't. How do I put it? It seems to me that a lot of people, they don't
Being polite.
they don't like to be impolite. I
Mm.
have no problem being impolite. Like I would rather be impolite than tell a lie. But I think most people would have a lot of trouble being like that. But what frustrates me is like why are there some people they feel it's all right to carry a conversation like that. And what you just said about the olden ways and I eat salt more than you, it casts a lot of light in that regard lah. So there's this culture for them is like a numbers game. I just need to add everybody on
Yes.
Facebook, and everybody who adds me, I just need to blast my message to every single one of them, and then I need to corner them and cut off their escape until they come to my place. And
Yeah.
yeah, I find that that's a very hard way to do business. It's like
Those are the hardcore ones. I mean, they do exist in MLM. I'm sure
yeah,
they exist in other industries as well. But I can only speak for MLM because I've been in this industry actively for 16 years plus. So why does this happen is because I would say probably they were being somewhat brainwashed by too many of such hardcore skills training, right?
mm,
So some of the training they had to pay, and some of the training is sponsored by the company. But most of the trainings were teaching them techniques,
yeah,
like what you say. She knew how to ask uh, questions in a series that force you to say yes. Those
yeah,
are what I call techniques. Now, techniques can be used for good or can be used for bad. I mean, technique is just like a knife. A knife is neutral, but how you use it, your intention behind using the knife, is what determines the outcome. So
but at the same time, don't you think that for her, she believes that she's doing good?
she um probably, yeah. I mean, maybe she's getting results, she's getting signups and all. Again, different values in life. I would look at the no's that I got and understand why they're saying no. Is it because they don't like me? Is it because they don't trust me? Is it because they don't see a need in that? So that I can improve. Okay, and I'd rather someone tell me upfront that, okay, because you're my friend, I'm gonna buy just to support you. All right, just for this one time. I'd rather, they say it that way, and I say, I really appreciate it. I mean, really, honestly, you don't have to buy from me. Okay, I do understand that you want to support. I think the best way to support is to at least tell your friends about what I have. Because I don't want you to buy something that you don't need. All right,
Mm.
and I would keep that friendship. Okay, but for some, they would rather push the highest pack since you're buying from me anyway, and you just push the highest pack. Again, different values in life. I value relationship. I value harmony. more than that. Like, going back to the technique, they are learning techniques, but they didn't learn the context behind the technique. So there's so many sales technique that can be used for to achieve result, but the same technique can also be used to manipulate.
I just want to say that this I definitely don't feel this just from MLMers. I definitely feel this from other industries, even coaches. There are certain. By the way, within the same week, another person did the same thing to me. This guy profession. From a different profession. This guy, he was in the profession of physiotherapy. No, not physiotherapy. He was in. God, it was very confusing. What this guy does, extremely confusing, and he does like a combination of breath work plus mindset lah and whatever, and he was just trying to like corner me to join his webinar, And
is it a paid webinar or a free webinar?
It was a free webinar, but at the same time, we all know lah what happens when you go to webinar. I think there is no longer a secret already. Nowadays, if you join a webinar, for sure there is a call to action at the end. For sure there is a pitch at the end. So there is really no escaping this anymore. It's an open secret, But when people still try to hide that fact, no, my webinar really got nothing to sell to you. And then when they actually do sell to you, it's like, what? You're being incongruent, right? Anyway, coming back to this coaching industry, training industry, I still getting marketeers as well as website designers, graphic designers who are adding me on LinkedIn and PMing me after they add me, hey, if you need anything, please come. So there's all these things, but I want to ask you from your perspective, because you also you coach network marketers specifically, like what are the biggest mistakes that you have observed? What are the biggest tendencies that are mistakes that you observe from your from beginner network marketers?
Beginners and non-marketers. Okay. Let's zoom in specifically on how they do prospecting on social media.
Yeah, totally.
Because to them it's like a hunting ground. I would say the common ones, the most common basic mistakes of beginners who just joined MLM and they saw the opportunity of a huge outreach with their content when they go on social media. The simplest form of mistake is that they post testimonials. All right. Before or after wearing these pants, good result, DM me. So that's number one. You see that a lot. Another one is they are trying to sell the lifestyle, but it was so obvious. They would say, hey, early bird gets the worm. They post very early in the morning, but the photo is of themselves drinking the nutrition drink. Day one. Day two, themselves, different color, drinking the same nutrition drink, probably different flavor. Day 3 and day 7 and day 10, same things, and people got bored. They just hide them. So, see, one of the common mistake is that they thought that everybody will be interested with the product.
In their product, yeah.
Okay, so that's the common mistake.
Yeah.
Can't blame them because they love the product. They attended the training. They know so much of the product. They hear so much testimonies because they attend their weekly training and all. But they fail to see the connection that the prospects, they're not even prospects. They are just people reading your post. They haven't attended your products training. They haven't heard about the testimonies that your group members are sharing. They don't even know what this product is all about.
Yeah, so basically what they do is that they take nice photos of their product and then they post on social media and then they just keep posting on their product, right?
Yeah. And people keep unfriending them. They keep hiding them, or they just hide, like mute this person. We stay friends, but I will never see your post on my feed.
So that's why they feel they need to go and find cold market. Is that right?
Yeah. Okay, first of all, when they join, and let's say they don't have friends list or contact list to call, and to do prospecting, they will turn to social media because they have Facebook friends. So, one of the notion is that they say, hey, you already have all these friends, it's a numbers game. So they sort only that formula. There's always a numbers game. That's number one. And number two, and then they're not getting results. So they have to go and do cold calling. They have to go and look for strangers. Again, nothing wrong with that. All of us have to go and do a cold prospecting at some point in time, but there is always a way to do it properly. And if you do it right, through your content, through your social media persona, you get to attract people to check you out and say, hey, what is it? I enjoy your posts, I learn a lot, and I think this is something that I'm looking for. So you start getting that kind of stuff instead of you hunting. Even today, it was just like 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, there was this guy added me on LinkedIn, and he has nice profile photo. You can see, wearing coat, professionally done in a studio and all, looks okay. All right, and then he listed all his achievement in his MLM company lah, which is quite a common MLM company. I'm sure we all heard of the name lah. So he was listing, which year got what award, what rank and all. So he was using that LinkedIn profile as his prospecting page because it only showcased about his achievement in that company. Nothing wrong with that. Everybody has their own way of doing it. So he added me. And he sent me a connection request. And he said, hey, Keanu, I saw your profile and I think we share the same passion for network marketing industry. Would like to add you to my connection. Sounds legit. I added him, then immediately the first message was, hey, this is the Zoom link to my Saturday sharing party. Hope you can drop by.
Oh my God.
And I was like, what?
Terrible.
That was the first conversation after we got connected. You just send me a Zoom link. I'm hosting this Saturday. It's a Zoom party.
Oh God.
I'm sure you're gonna have fun. And I was like, how are you sure I'm gonna have fun? Of course, I didn't reply that.
We are too free, is it?
So I was in a good mood. I responded him, properly. Otherwise, I would just ignore. So I responded and say, hey, his name, of course. Then I say, since you mentioned you saw my profile, I'm sure you noticed that I'm a network marketing coach, right? In fact, I do have a few students in your company, and they are doing well right now because they learned not to do what you just did, right?
Oh, don't tell me he tried.
I say, if you want to learn what they learn, come and join my class. My class is starting this weekend as well. I mean, you face that, correct?
Yeah.
But I was surprised by his response.
What did he say?
Of course, I noticed that you are not a marketing coach. Like I say, I check your profile, but I'm doing fine. I don't need coaching. I'm just thinking, if I'm not a member of my company, you should be. That's why I'm sending you the link. I just sent him a smiley. That's it. End of conversation.
It really
can't coach people who are uncoachable.
It baffles me. It really baffles me how these people keep doing it. I don't understand.
Yes. I'm not sure he's watching this because the word
he should
getting smaller.
He should. But in fact, the reason why I do this interview with you is because of these people. It is these people are making these people are making the internet an unsafe place.
Yes, and these kind of people are making MLM look really bad.
It looks cheap. Makes you look cheap.
Yes, and that's why I have a tough job to do to really change the mindset of people who are involved, because I told them, first day I told my students, if you want to change the way people look at you and your profession, you got to change the way you do things in this profession, because respect is earned.
Right.
Okay. So let's start our journey. I have a seven weeks coaching course. So the entire 7 weeks is not teaching you techniques or scripts. You can download all these for free, all right? But if you don't use it in the right context, you're going to fail miserably. So the 7 weeks, you're going to learn about the right context. You learn a lot about your personality. How are you going to angle the words that you use, so that you get the result that you desire?
Yeah,
so
because
7 weeks is on them.
Yeah, it's kind of like what you said is a hunting ground. I want to pause. I want to talk a little bit about that, because I think that's a very, very important thing. Just in case the audience it just went past the brain, because a lot of people tunnel vision, right? So it's just go past, right? So number one, they see the internet as a hunting ground.
Yes.
So number two, because they see internet as a hunting ground, they see all of their friends list, all the people in their circle, as people to be hunted.
Correct.
Right.
Correct.
And because they see these people to be hunted, they put lures, what they consider to
traps.
be lure. right? So they take nice photos of their lifestyle, and then they post it up everywhere, and then they do cold calling, and then they do cold prospecting. They do pretend. What you just said, huh? The guy who had the other MLM company. So he said, "Oh, I thought since we have the same passion in MLM, I thought it would be nice to connect with you." But what he's actually trying to do is to prospect you.
Yes.
This and all of this inauthentic way of doing it is, number one, making the internet an unsafe place. Is cheesy. It doesn't work. It makes people hate you and avoid you like a plague. And at the same time, it also make them feel like, hey, why are my people around me getting like less and less, not responding?
Yes.
Because the algorithm wouldn't show it to them, right?
Correct.
Facebook is very smart. When people don't want to see your stuff, Facebook will not show your stuff anymore. And you won't know because they won't block you, but they just won't see your posts. Yep. And at the same time, these are the kind of by the way, reason why I'm so fired up with this is because I get so many questions in Thrive Together, right? Hey, Felix, I feel that the people around me aren't interested in what I have. So how can I go and target more strangers? Because they're impatient, am I right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So let's talk about what is the right way to go about it.
I like the analogy that you used just now, because you were talking about hunter, and seeing all the friends as objects to be hunted. That was exactly the same analogy that I used like when I was 25 with my upline, and say, I feel like all the things that we are learning right now is preparing us to be a salesperson, to be a hunter. Okay, again, not wrong. Some people thrive in that, but it's just not me and the people in my network that I bring in. Actually, some downlines that I brought in, after they attended the training, they actually dropped out because they just hated the approach that the group was teaching.
Yeah.
So I came up with this analogy of hunter versus farmer, which I think you teach
your
students.
Yeah.
The same thing too.
Yeah.
So in short, the farmer represents relationship marketing, and we got to nurture, because there's one thing that I always teach my students. So if you can't remember all the steps and all the philosophies and behind and all, just remember this, okay? Just remember this: we are not out there to do closing. That's the old norm way of doing sales and MLM. Okay, we are out there. On the contrary, we are out there doing opening. Okay, we are not doing closing. We are doing opening. We're opening other people's hearts. We are opening their minds. We're opening their ears. Okay, we are opening a safe space to have an adult discussion about why am I doing this, why I think you should be doing this, and why you think you don't do this is fine. The sooner we get into ourselves and mature up, all right, and have a healthy, open discussion, the quicker you reach a point that you don't actually need to do prospecting or presentation or closing.
People come to you.
Yes, you might have to do some marketing because you still have to, have the visibility and people come to you, like you say. But during that conversation, you don't have to learn sales technique, closing technique. I tell you some cheesy ones that I learned from my outline last
Please.
time.
Yes.
It's the ABC. They call it the ABC.
Always be closing.
Yes, that's the philosophy behind it. But it was more on the physical side. The ABC is that when I bring my friend to come to the the presentation.
Business presentation.
I always bring my upline along. All right. So my upline will be the A, the advisor. I'll be the B, the bridge. All right. And my friend will be the C. C will be the client or the customer. So I'm gonna be the bridge, and we learn techniques like how to edify my upline, talk all the good things about him and stuff. Again, nothing wrong with all these things, okay? But when you use it in the right context, it actually builds people up, and you enhance your networking. But a lot of people are trained to just use it as a script. And my friends sitting there, listening to me introducing my upline, they feel very fake. So
totally.
before we begin presentation, they already close out. They're like, okay, I think I fell into a trap, but just to be polite, I'm not gonna flip the table. So they were enduring the entire process. You're not gonna get into closing.
There's no
they will
way.
tell you, I'll think about it. They will tell you, let's talk again.
Yeah.
And you feel good because you did an activity today. Yay.
Yay.
So it'll come to a point it becomes numb. So ABC, So two things very cheesy: the 6 feet rule and then the ABC. And then we learn a bunch of stuff like handshake. When you reach out your hand and shake, you flip it a little bit, so that you're like in the dominant side, and you pull them in a little bit. I was like, what the heck with all these things, man? If you don't use it in the right context, it's cheesy, it's manipulative.
Yeah. And then especially the more people use these tactics, the more we wisen up to it, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. Correct. You can't treat the market as a dumb place, like you say, like a hunting ground. So, back to the closing and opening. So I teach my downlines, I say, so what you learn all these closing techniques, so what you learn all this very bombastic script, you get them to sign up, you get them to buy your product because they were forced to. Are they going to continue buying it every month? Are they going to bring in downlines and build a team with you? They won't, because the relationship ended right at the moment they sign on the form and take out their money and buy the product for the first time.
Yeah.
So when the relationship ended, don't talk about passive income.
Yeah. One of the I really feel like sharing this. One of the recent I recently ended a job. So basically I left to do my own thing.
Yeah.
And I can't go into detail what the job was, but it's got to do with high ticket programs. So like $10,000, $20,000, $30,000, very high ticket stuff. And one of the questions, like when people ask me, hey Felix, how do you actually do this so well? Because I'm one of the top performers in the job. And my answer has always been, is like, actually, I don't close people. I open relationships. And I think it's such a hard thing for people to understand, because they believe that they are the cause. They have to cause the sale to happen.
Right.
When in fact, when in fact what actually does happen is kind of like that typical example of the man trying too hard to woo the girl.
Yeah.
And then the girl feels very why is this guy trying so hard, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I want to share I want to ask you if this is the proper way, okay? Because I have a certain idea, but then again, maybe I'm getting it wrong. So I want to ask you as a more experienced person.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the things that we learn in marketing is the idea of a vehicle and opportunity. So
Right.
like a vehicle, as the opportunity is a specific offer that you give. That is the opportunity, whereas the vehicle is the potential solution. So as an example, I think Herbalife did it very well. Herbalife, my friends who are in Herbalife who did very well, they don't sell Herbalife. They sell fitness programs. Right. So the fitness program is the vehicle, and when I do the program, I need to use Herbalife products. So Herbalife is the opportunity. So one of the things that I talk about in all my students, right, is that we are not the solution. We are the option to the solution. So what is your take on this? Like if let's say someone were to do anything, like they have a product, that would be an opportunity. Let's try to find the vehicle that supports this opportunity. What is your take?
I've seen that happening a lot. Like you say, Herbalife and fitness program. There is also yoga with essential oil products. There is also chiropractor with health supplements.
Right.
So these are what I call power team. Okay, like collaborations. So if you have that collaboration, I think it's an added advantage, because you can sell something more or beyond just that supplement. Okay, because you're talking about the fitness, and you can use that fitness program to build a tribe. Of healthy people, and when you have a tribe, you have so much more things that you can do. You can do health talks. You can do you can invite guests to give health tips, or different workouts. And when the tribe grows, you actually find your niche, that I just want to serve this group of people who choose to live healthily and all.
Yes.
And of course, the backbone of it is to use my company's supplement.
Yes.
I've seen that happening. That happens quite commonly as well right now. Again, It's not hard and fast rule. It's not the one way or the other. If you have that opportunity, why not? If you don't, then go back to the basic of how can you be an ambassador of the solution that this product can give, not ambassador of the product. Ambassador of the product is like, oh, I talk about this product, I talk about the benefit of this product, I show you the research and the patents and all. I'm an ambassador of this product. That is where a lot of people got stuck. Probably they get some customers, but maybe they don't get as much business builders. Why? Because before business builders join them, they start internalizing. If I join you, I will have to be like you, be an ambassador of the product and keep talking about the product and the research and all. Although you are convincing, I can't speak like you. I'm not as a good public speaker as you. So these are some of the things that hinders people, from joining you to build the business.
And at the same time, this comes back to the whole thing about, I take nice pictures about my product and I show people me drinking this one la, using that one la. And I think it's not a coincidence, right, that I see successful Amway distributors, they don't talk about Amway. They talk about the beauty, and then they use artistry. Beauty, they talk about health culture, and they use Nutrilite. And then they talk about clean air, they use the purifier. Whereas I always see struggling distributors, they only talk about the product.
Yes.
This is my product. This is why it's amazing. This is why other products are bad, and that's why you should use my product.
And if you get a chance to ask them, who are you targeting? Who is your prospect?
Everyone.
We give you the same answer.
Everyone.
Correct. Everyone. So I've learned it. I've learned it through business networking and a lot of different guru. All of them say the same thing. If you target everyone, you get no one. Yes. So you got to build your own niche.
I guess we are aligned. Everyone who wants to be successful in MLM, they need to find a vehicle, rather than constantly basically choosing to align yourself with a solution, and build a culture, build a community around the solution, not around the product. Because the solution, even if I want to grow my business, if I'm an MLM distributor, which I'm not, but if I'm an MLM distributor, if I want to grow my organization, do I really want to recruit people who don't believe my product?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. That's very true. Especially when you mention you got to align yourself to the vehicle and the opportunity and the culture and all. So align yourself. That is that part, which I think is the most crucial, because a lot of people, they don't align themselves with the vehicle and the opportunity. They were trying to push the vehicle and the opportunity to other people, and hopefully they will align to them. Okay, so that is where the friction all came about.
Yeah. Like yoga and essential oil, essential oil have a less take-up rate than yoga. So if I'm known as a yoga expert, and I reintroduce essential oils into my yoga practice, then when people come and experience me doing yoga, then it gives me an opportunity to talk about why I choose to use essential oils in yoga. In the same way, essential oils and aromatherapy, or health and supplements. Why I talk about. I used to have leaky gut. Leaky gut syndrome. Leaky gut syndrome requires the usage of a lot of probiotics and amino acids and quite a number of supplements. I can, if I choose to be a specialist in leaky gut, healing leaky gut, I can be known as an expert in leaky gut. Then I can bring in supplements. Then I can talk about why I choose this company as the best of these supplements.
Correct.
Yeah. So I guess we now come to almost a close, but I really want to talk about this one last thing. Why are there so many people who find it so difficult, right, to detach themselves from the product and to align to the solution? Why is it so hard for them to adopt this mentality? Because let me just give me a little bit more context, right? I try to talk about this, but it's like almost like selective hearing. I try to talk about the importance of finding a vehicle, and then they will, oh, my vehicle is supplement. Oh, my vehicle.
Company name.
Why is it so hard?
I think it is because of the kind of training that they are receiving. Because if they are receiving trainings from the company, most of the company only train you to champion the company. I mean, nothing wrong with
Nothing
that. They
else.
should.
Yeah.
Okay. So you champion the company, you champion the product, you champion, you attend products training, you attend trainings that teach you the science behind the product and all, and you fall in love with the product because now you believe your product is superior than others, which is again nothing wrong with that, and you should
Yeah, you
trust and
should.
believe in the product that
Totally.
they're ambassador of, but you can't expect someone who just listen to your product for the first time have the same conviction. I use the word conviction, not just they can't have the same conviction as you have with your product. Okay. And
Yeah.
and some people they feel agitated when after I spend 2 hours talking to you and you still don't see the way I see it.
Yeah.
So you see, there's a lot of mindset and personal development and attitude and skills training that goes into people becoming successful in MLM. Okay, and all professions as well. I would say. So it's a lifelong journey, and precisely because learning is a lifelong journey, and the expectation gap is there. When people jump into MLM thinking that I just bring in 3 friends, they bring in 3 friends, they bring in 3 friends, I get to have 5-figure income and I can retire. And
That's
when they
lazy
get into the
thinking.
action, they say, wow, so much to learn, so much to master,
Yeah.
and that's when there's a weird expectation gap during the prospecting stage. Again, by untrained distributors or untrained uplines who were motivated by sign up first.
Yeah.
So that's what got the entire thing a little bit messed up. And I think people really need to detox what they have learned from the old norm, and really take a look at how the new norm is shaping up and how can we work through the new norm in a professional way, in a harmonious way, so that people get us, people want to come to us, and you start building your tribe in your niche. You don't have to prospect everyone.
So it's like what I'm hearing is the stumbling block is number one, a lack of empathy.
Yeah.
Would you say so? Yeah. And the second thing is impatience.
Definitely.
Yeah. So if someone can learn to be more empathetic to their prospects, of figuring out what those prospects need, what the prospect thinking, what prospects want, as opposed to what they want. And if they can be more patient in doing the groundwork, laying the foundations, laying the relationship, then they would have more success in MLM.
Yes. Farming.
Yeah,
like
farming.
You and I will always tell our students, you have to do the groundwork before you can harvest the fruits.
I remember the one I mentioned earlier, I have some pretty successful Herbalife friends, right? In all the time I hang out with them, right, I feel nothing but joy. I don't feel at all like being ambushed. They are being ambushed.
Yes.
And they are like the some of them are like the, how do I put it? They are living, breathing fitness. So they look very attractive. So it's like very easy to hang out with them. Yes. And they build this culture around like, let's go to movies together, let's go ahead have some drinks, let's have dinner together. But they don't talk about the business, they don't talk about the stuff unless we actually ask of them, which ironically makes people want to ask even more.
Correct. Yeah. That's called farming.
Farming,
right? They're actually nurturing the relationship with you.
Yeah.
And one thing I hope MLMers understand, be it newbies or advanced, they have to remind themselves that people actually don't care how much you know until they know how much you care.
Yeah.
So I think that's one of the biggest flaws.
True.
That they just want to push their information for a sign up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. So I guess we talked a lot today.
Yeah, I can talk to you tonight.
Yeah, actually, I feel like every time I talk to you, it's like we don't have enough time to cover everything.
Probably because I am a chatty type.
I am also chatty type lah.
That's why, Lord. That's why, Lord.
So we've covered about how you get started on network marketing. We talk
Mm.
about the mindset, the traditional way of doing prospecting and how is it not effective. And we talked about the kind of mindset that people have which doesn't work, and we talked about the mindset that people do have which does work. And I think it just, if in essence the condensation of everything we talk about, I think is the need to be empathetic, and the need to have the patience enough to nurture, to be a farmer as opposed to constantly being a hunter. So I think you are very diplomatic. You say that there's nothing wrong with hunting. I am not so diplomatic. I'm gonna come out and completely say it. I hate hunting, and I think people should stop hunting. I think that if you are a hunter, it might work well in the 1980s, in the 1990s even. Now in the 2021 and above, I think the more hunter you are, the poorer you are. That's my stand lah. But you are very diplomatic, so I'm gonna respect you for that.
Wow.
Yeah.
I've come to be okay with not being okay. It's okay, you think this works for you, fine. It's go do your work.
But more importantly, I think we both have a mission, lah. And my mission is to help empower basically service-based solopreneurs to elevate themselves out of survival. I think life is too short to just constantly stay in survival. I think we need to reach stability as fast as possible, so that money out of the way, then we can focus on what really matters in life. So because we are both aligned, I think there's also something that we actually discussed before. So those of you who are listening, there's something that Keanu wished to offer you. So I'm gonna let you talk about that.
Oh yeah, I have this deep passion and a mission to transform network marketers into professionals, because I do believe that this industry is lucrative if you do it right, and I really want to see people thriving in this industry instead of struggling. And again, don't be cheesy. So I have a 7 weeks coaching course that teach people that. But of course, for some of you who just want to clear some of the blockages that you have, like maybe you have been prospecting for a while and you just don't see result, but you don't know why, kind of like a blind spot. I can offer a 15 minutes clarity coaching. This is what I do, to share with me your problem, and then I will give you a tip or two that you can immediately apply and use it, and start pivoting in your business. So I've been offering this 15 minutes clarity coaching call for almost a year. Numerous MLMs from different companies, even different parts of the world, came to me, and some of them became my students. Some of them no, but we are still in the community. I do have a free Facebook group where MLMers can join and get tips and all. So if you really want to unblock some of the things that has been hindering you in your progress, reach out to me. meet.keanu.com.
Yeah, I'll put the link over there. And those of you who are listening, I think you hear how how Keanu and myself we talk. We don't have a forcing mentality, so don't worry about him trying to like close you or anything like that. I think he's really genuine in offering this. So I hope you guys take advantage of this. So with that being said, it's been a very nice conversation. I'm gonna end Facebook Live now, and hope the rest of you who are watching in the Facebook Live do drop us a comment. Just type down over there like what is the biggest takeaway that you have gotten from watching this one. So with that being said, Keanu, is there any parting words that you would like to give the audience?
Be true to yourself, right? And if you really feel that some of the approaches that your upline is teaching you doesn't jive with you, then look for the solutions within. How can you modify those approach and do it naturally? Because end of the day, your relationship with your prospects and your family and friends matter more than whether they join you or not.
Correct.
Okay, so I think that is something that governs what we do and how we do things.
Yeah. listen to the advice, guys. 16 years, very experienced. And that is it from me. Hope you guys enjoy, and I'll see you guys again in the next Road to 10K or 10K Stories Facebook Live. Bye.
All right. Thank you so much. Bye.